Hey, acolytes, Buddy here. I'm going to give you 1 minute on, well, probably more because I ramble a lot, on what I learned this week, and then we're going to crown the Boyds and the haircuts of the week. Let's grind. All right. This week's big event, the IBM story, okay, it became the clearest example yet of what I've been saying for weeks. Anthropic quietly released a version of their AI that can run mainframes, essentially, and IBM stock crashed hard. That single move is more devastating because it directly threatens the legacy COBOL modernization work that still sits at the heart of IBM's business model. Service-heavy models are structurally exposed when agentic AI compresses the how into routine work but at machine speed. Meanwhile, our overlords, the corporate suits, government planners, media gatekeepers, and the rest of the pentaveret are all meeting at the Meadows with Ro Khanna and Colonel Sanders planning their next move. They might want to put down the PowerPoint decks in meetings about meetings and maybe pick up Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, book about John Boyd, Curram's probably the best. Maybe look at a few other philosophers that are going to value wisdom and ontology and liberal arts over raw power, but wisdom beats raw power every time. They might want to just pick up the cycles on the OODA Loop. The frameworks that keep me moving fast are the ones I've been ranting about. OODA Loop grounded on ontology for rapid, accurate decisions. Haircut index to spot and remove any bureaucratic drag. Volatility, that's a big word like refrigerator. Volatility absorption index to turn volatility into measurable value. See, I got to read because I'm not that clever. A middle path approach that rejects extremes and focuses on practical results. Physical AI at the edge, okay, that technology, look it up, but the edge and physical AI, it bridges the digital intelligence to the real world impact. Here's the Boyd level takeaway for the frameworks compress every decision cycle into a fixed orientation point. While the haircuts are still perfecting committees, the real operators have the map locked in and are moving at Boyd speed. The real lesson proves it again. With these tools in place, you guys can protect the mission and stay ahead of the tsunami and surf the wave. All right, time for 40-second Boyd, but knowing me, it'll probably be 20 minutes. The Boyd Awards, two companies this week are screaming low haircut index. First one's a company you may not have heard of called Pembina Pipeline, all right? They got a haircut index of only 1.9 out of 10, which is good. It's kind of like golf. You want a low handicap, you want a low haircut index. They sanctioned two major pipeline expansions totaling $425 million with the decisive execution. No committee, no paralysis, fast action on infrastructure. Nominee 2, you may have heard these guys. My grandma used to take these stores when I was a kid at Christmas time. Burlington stores. They're running at a haircut index of 1.8 out of 10. They're 226 net new store target to 108 locations. They capitalized on opportunistic leases from bankrupt retailers and aggressive customer-focused expansion at retail and maybe Boyd speed. Now, vote in the comments or quote post with #TheBoyd, and the winner gets the Boyd Trophy next week. Now, the haircut of the week. It goes to two companies proving the index is real. No new surprises. IBM, as I mentioned earlier. Haircut index 8.9 out of 10. Full disclosure, I'm an IBM alum, okay? And I'm saying this out of love because I still have a lot of friends there. Kyndryl too, because when I was there, we were all one company before it became Kyndryl and IBM. Well, maybe not so much love because I've been competing against you guys since I left. As I mentioned earlier, Anthropic quietly dropped a version that can run mainframes and the stock crashed. Not your usual earnings hit, okay? But they can turn it around fast if they OODA. Nominee 2, Kyndryl. Index 9.1. Yeah, I know. Kyndryl used to be part of IBM. This one's a little different story. It actually is tied to their earnings call. Classic haircut finance strategy. Thought they were smarter than the street and got caught. They can turn it around, maybe, if they bring in people with a different point of view in terms of governance and thought, and if they OODA through. So do me a favor, put #haircut of the week And the biggest losers get the Golden Comb Award next Friday, or next week, whenever I publish it. Just a quick note. If you get a chance, go to Real Clear Politics. They actually dropped an article by a dude named Elwood, and I'm not talking about Blues Brother. If you get a chance, go to realclearpolitics.com and look it up. This guy's a professor out of East Tennessee State University, a humanities professor. Shows that the legacy media and faculty lounges are starting to pick up on the fact that a liberal arts education is actually around critical thinking is way more important than a pure STEM approach, okay? I guarantee you a lot of the pipes and sport coats with patches crowd are exploding in faculty lounges everywhere. I've been ranting about this since the Claude-Bot Schumer moment through the SaaS crash Sandra Connor's confab, creating Armageddon and grift galore. Props to them for joining the party. Bevan, Halpern, and any other media pundits talking about this want to hear a real operator's voice? I know people living in the trenches who are not theory and haircuts using big words like refrigerator. If you're interested in a real conversation, let me know and I'll connect you with them. Tag fellow acolytes who need to see this. I'll see you next week. In the words of the great football coach John Schumann, grind now and shine later. And thanks to my son, my producer and director, Jack Ryland, for helping me film this.
Please don't put my name out. Please cut that.
Cut that. Talk to you soon.